Hello, my name is Jimmy Vegas and welcome to this, the 12th in a series of video tutorials on how to create a Super Mario game in Unity 5. So this episode, we're going to be focusing on this particular question mark box here. We're going to make our character jump, hit it, and a mushroom is going to come out and move along our level. Now, although it's probably one of the simplest things to do in a Super Mario game, creating it and creating the correct environment for it can be a little bit complicated and slightly long-winded. So I'm going to try and keep this tutorial as short as possible, and we're going to get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to need to do is this particular block itself. We need to adjust the collider of the parent object, and we need to kind of, how should I say, shrink it a little. So what we need to do is go to the box collider, and here at the size, we need to change this to 0.9. We need to change it to 0.2 to make it thinner. And we need to change the, in fact, no, we'll leave the Z or Z as 1. And we also need to change the center of it, because if you look now, I'm not sure whether you can quite see, but if you do look closely, you can see that the collider for this object is now a thin box just in between. We need to put it in here at the center on the Y. Just do minus 0.4. And it will put it, hopefully you should see it now, just at the bottom there. So that's our entire collider. There is a reason for this. I will explain later on as we create more within this block. So the next thing we need to do is this unopened block. We need to turn off the collider if you've got that on, so make sure that is off. Next thing we'll need to do is, let me think, what's the best way we can get around this now? Because there's several different things we're going to have to do, not all at once, but in no particular order. We just need to kind of bring it together. I think what we're going to need to do is we'll need to set a platform in this object just here and possibly in this one. So let's, on this block, the one next to it, let's set a platform so we can brown block, cube. Have we already done that? Oh no, that's through my testing. So this block, this brown block, right click, 3D object, cube. I'm not going to bother renaming this cube because we're never really going to use it again, but all it's doing is providing a platform for our actual mushroom when it pops out. So let's shrink this size again of here. So let's make it similar to what we did with this question mark object. So 0.9, 0.4, but instead of minus 0.4, let's put this as 0.4. So as the collider goes up, let's turn off the mesh renderer and let's just bring it down on the center just slightly. So if you hover over the Y just there, you can move that about there. So we probably need about 0.28. In fact, let's round it to 0.3. So as I say, all we've done there is create kind of an imaginary ledge for when this mushroom pops out and goes this way. So next thing we'll do is let's create our mushroom. So on here, let's block again. Let's see, what's the best way we can make a mushroom? I think if we use a sphere and add it together. So let's go on our unopened block. Let's right click, 3D object, and let's have sphere. I'm just going to bring it up for now and turn the camera angle around slightly to about there. And in this sphere, I'm going to right click, 3D object, and let's have cylinder. So now we just need to adjust the size of our cylinder to something half decent. So we need to shrink it quite a bit. So let's have 0.2, 0.5, and 0.5. So it may not look much like a mushroom at the moment. Let's bring it up a bit. Bring our cylinder down for the stalk of the mushroom. And let's shrink the size on, sorry, the scale on the Y to maybe 0.5. So it's looking a little bit more like a mushroom now. And I'm going to put it to 0.6 actually, I think. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so I'm happy with how that looks. You can spend a little bit more time working on it to make it look a bit more mushroom-like. So I'm going to right-click, rename, call this red mushroom 001. I'm not going to rename the cylinder. We'll just keep that as it is. Let's bring in a texture. So let's head into our textures folder in Unity and let's drag and drop this mushroom 001 texture, which you can get on the website for free. Head on over there, then head to the downloads and assets section, head to the pink series, which is the Mario series, and then tutorial 12, and you can download this. So I'm going to drag and drop onto red mushroom 001. So you can see it looks more like a mushroom that you would see in Mario. It's not perfect, but as I say, if you want to use the official textures or somewhat better textures, head over to Google. You can probably get them there if you do a quick little search. So we need to bring this mushroom back into the center of our box. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reduce the scale slightly, 0.8 and 0.8. And then we will bring it down just a little more, just so as it fits inside the box itself. So I'm going to zero out the Y position. And let's just check that it goes on top. That's not quite how we want it. So best thing to do now is place your mushroom exactly where you want it to appear on top of the box. So if I zoom in and put it just there. So that's fine. Next thing, duplicate that mushroom and then hold Control and bring it down into the box itself. Now that may seem a little bit strange, but what we'll be doing here is we'll actually be using two mushrooms rather than one. So one mushroom will start the animation, disappear, and then this mushroom will continue the animation. So now we've done that, we need to create a script which will allow us to activate the mushroom within the box when we hit it. So let's head to our scripts folder, right click, create script, and I'm trying to think the best thing. I'm just going to call this Q block 001. Keep it as simple as possible. Head in to MonoDevelop or Visual Studio, whichever, makes no difference. So the idea of what we'll be doing is, as I say, creating two separate animations without the actual animation tab. We'll be doing it all through scripting. So this first script, get rid of everything it gives you, and we'll be starting from scratch. One thing I should probably do first, though, is these two mushrooms that we've created. Let's set them both as inactive so they don't magically appear when we play our level. So let's set three variables. The first one is going to be the question mark block. Second one is going to be the dead block, which is the brown block, which displays when you've hit the block. And we'll display the first mushroom. So var Q block, that's a game object. Next one is, what can we call this one? Var dead block, and that's also a game object. Next one, let's call this just mushroom, and that is also going to be a game object. Now the function we're going to use here is on trigger enter. So function on trigger enter, and we've used this before, as you already know, in previous scripts. Open curly bracket, call collider. Remember, case sensitive there. Open bracket. Now what we need to do first off is we need to set active the dead block. So we need dead block. In fact, no, we'll start with the Q block just to be sure. So Q block dot set active, and this one needs to be false. So we need to turn off the question mark block. Then immediately after, or literally in the same frame, as it were, we need to make our dead block appear. So dead block dot set active true. After this, what we need to do is we need to wait for split second, and then we need to make our mushroom appear. So we need to do, yield wait for seconds, and let's do 1/5 of a second, so 0.2. You can modify that if you want it to appear instantly or a little bit later. Work with it yourself and see what you come up with, see what you get as the best results. Then after this, mushroom.set active true. And then close that function and save. Now that was a nice simple script, very easy. So all we need to do is we then need to drag and drop that script, qblock001. Oops, I've spelt mushroom wrong there. Sorry, my fault. Let's save that again. Spotted that when we started up Unity. It said unknown identifier mushroom. It should be mushroom. So that script, qblock001, now needs to go on to question block 001. So drag and drop. On question block 001, you now need to tick is trigger. We now need to fill in this. So Q block is going to be unopened block. Open block is going to be dead block. Now, you must get your mushroom right here. The mushroom you want to select here as mushroom is the one that is inside this block, which is, in this case, mushroom 001, and in brackets 1. So make sure you drag and drop that to the correct space. What I want to do now is just take these 2 red mushrooms out of this unopened block and place them up just 1 level inside question block. So rather than being a child object of unopened block, there are also a child object of question block. So once we've got that done, our first script, what we need to do then is we need to create the first mushroom movement. So we need to create another script, right click, create script, and let's call this on mushroom move. Let's do mushroom move first. So let's open this one up again in MonoDevelop or Visual Studio. It's taking a minute there. Okay, so we've got that open. Let's delete everything we've got. This one again is a nice small script. 2 variables we'll use, both game objects. So we need 2 mushrooms referenced in this. So let's do var actual mushroom, and this is going to be our actual mushroom that moves along our level. Game object, and let's do var. We'll do this mushroom. So this mushroom refers to the mushroom that we're going to attach this script to. It's also going to be game object. Now this script requires just a little bit of fiddling to get it just right. The idea of what we want to do is I want to start this off with a function update, so it starts straight away. I think update will do just fine. We want to take away the parent, and we want to remove it from our parent object, and we want to make it singly in the hierarchy. So function update, open close bracket, open curly bracket, and best way to do this is a nice simple line, and it is just simply transform.parent equals null. So transform.parent equals null. So just so you're aware of what this line actually does, when the script runs, it will pull this mushroom out of here, the question block 1, and it'll make it like everything else. It'll just make it a normal object in the hierarchy. It'll make it ultimate parent on its top possible level. So after this, what we need to do is we need to kind of animate the mushroom itself to go upwards, and this can be done via transform.translate. So transform.translate, and in brackets, what we're going to need to do here is we need to define kind of the speed and direction of what we're going to do. So we need an up direction. So we need vector3.up. Vector3.up. And now what we need to do is we need to set how quickly. So I'm going to do multiply by 2 and then multiply by time dot delta time. Oops, spelled that wrong. Delta time. Now the reason we do this is because we need it to kind of go in time with the game itself. We don't need it to go mad. Just realized that should be a capital T on time for delta time, sorry. And finally, we need to make it so it's relevant to the rest of the world, so as everything works in sync. So we need comma space dot world. Close bracket there, and then a semicolon. Now what we need to do is we need to make another function which will kind of stop the animation and then make this mushroom disappear. So I'm just going to go down one more line and then close the function. And now I'm going to make another function, but I'm going to call this one, let's call it close anim, just to make things a little easier. So function, close anim, open close bracket, open curly bracket. As I say, the idea of what we want to do is we want to wait for maybe half a second or so until the mushroom has had enough time to come upwards. So we want yield, wait for seconds, and I'm going to put 0.5 there for now, just to test. And then next line down, what I need to do is I need to make this mushroom disappear and the actual mushroom appear. So this mushroom dot set active false, and then actual mushroom dot set active true, and then close curly bracket. So to invoke this function from the update, all we need to do is type close anim open close bracket semicolon, and let's save that script. So that's the second script, and what we need to do is we need to attach it to the mushroom which is inside the box. So remember, it's this one with 1 in the brackets. So drag and drop onto that mushroom, click your mushroom, and we need to set them to variables. So this mushroom is obviously that one, the one we've attached the script to, and the actual mushroom, which will make all the movement on the level, is that one just there. So I'm going to save this just now. So what I'm hoping will happen is when we use our player to hit that box, the mushroom will appear up above the box and it will look as though it's stopping. Let's see if we actually get what we want. There we go. So in effect, what has just happened there, let me quickly run through it with you so as we fully understand how this sequence is working. So when we hit this box, if you remember, we changed this unopened block to disappear and this open block to appear, and that makes the brown block appear just here. At that same time, we set active our mushroom, which is inside this box here. So during that time, when that's active, it runs a script which lasts for around half a second, which brings that mushroom up here, and as soon as it's expired for as soon as it's come up for half a second, the mushroom disappears and the real red mushroom that we have around the level appears. So the final step in this script is to make this red mushroom come all the way over here and just keep moving. And the way we can do that is we can kind of cheat a little bit. So I'm going to right click and create another script. And I'm not sure what to call this one. Let's call this mushroom red move. Mushroom red move. I'll put level as well. Now, I said we can cheat in this. The idea of us cheating is the fact, if you remember the last episode, we created the mushroom man, which moved between 2 points in the level. I'm sure you remember that terrible mushroom over there moving between the two pipes. So we can use virtually the exact same script. So let's find that script, which is this one, I believe, mushroom man move. So if you copy all that script, mushroom man move, and put it in the mushroom red move level script that we've just created in Unity, so you can literally paste that in there. Now, the idea of what we want to do here is we need to add in a couple of things to this script. On function update, we need to remove it as a parent object again. So much in the same way we did with our other mushroom, we need the transform.parent equals null. So transform.parent equals null, semicolon. So remember that disconnects it from the main question mark block that we've had. I'm going to keep these variables just here, but I think we'll just need to alter them very slightly. So the left point I'm going to put as -20, so it goes all the way off screen. And the right point, you're going to need to get the point of just here. Now, if we click on our pipe just here, you'll see, hopefully, that its X position is, well, it says 8.25, but I don't think it's quite right. So we need, sorry, it's having a bit of problems here. So this block beneath, this block beneath the pipe is in position 12. So I'm going to have possibly 11. So where we've got 28 here for the right point, I'm going to put that as 11. So hopefully our mushroom will come out, move to X11, and then turn around and go back the other way. So back on here, back onto the script. I don't think we need to change anything there. Everything is just fine because we know our mushroom man moves just fine. So we can use this exact same script. So I'm going to save that. And on red mushroom 001, we now need to put in, oops, sorry, Unity's just having a quick think there. It was mushroom red move level. To be honest, my naming convention here is not the best, so we may work to change these a little bit. But either way, that script we've just created, drag and drop onto your actual main movement mushroom. We don't need to set any variables as we've already done that. And I'm going to save the project, press play. Now at this point, the mushroom will move, but it won't react to gravity. It won't behave like a normal mushroom. It will just move along, as you can see. The reason is we need to add a rigid body. So a rigid body is a way of kind of giving it gravity. So as it realizes, oh, there's a gap here, I need to fall down. So on your red mushroom 001, go to add component, physics, and rigid body. I'm not going to get into too much detail in regards to rigid body because it's something that we will deal with later on for various other things. But what you're going to need to do is increase the mass slightly. So let's have it as 3. And we definitely need the angular drag increased. The reason being is because when it comes here and falls down, the mushroom itself will tumble. We don't want it to kind of tumble. We want it to fall gently down. Just to show you what I mean, if we press play now with the angular drag set quite low, it will go and it will start tumbling around, as you can see. So we need to increase this angular drag, and I think we'll test. Let's try 35 first of all. I think 35 is probably going to be a nice figure. So hopefully when we press play now, we should be able to hit our mushroom, and our mushroom should happily come along like so. So if it does start to tumble a little bit, you can play around with the mass and the angular drag. So if I increase the mass to, say, 10, hopefully we should have a nicer effect. Yeah, so there we go. That looks a bit better now. Okay, so that is how you create a moving mushroom in your level. Now, this tutorial has gone on slightly longer than I actually wanted. So next tutorial, we're going to work on picking up that mushroom, increasing the size of our player like it would do in a normal Mario game. And I'm not sure if we've got enough time next episode, we may go into a death script. So if you remember our little mushroom man here, if we walk into him, he will kill us if we are small. So if we don't have enough time next episode, we'll probably do that the episode after. But definitely next time we will be picking up our mushroom and we will be increasing the size of our player. So until next episode, thank you very much for watching.